Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here playing some more Warhammer combat cards, and in this video I will be introducing the newest Warlord to enter the game for Servants of the Emperor, Warlord number 4. This is Inquisitor Greyfax. She is 36 points. She has all 3 attack types. Her trait is Inspiring Presence, but it is her special rule that makes her truly interesting, possibly the most interesting Warlord in the game, actually, because it is the only Warlord who actually encourages you to use less than all of your deck points available. So the way that it reads, for every 5 unused deck points, all of the units in your deck get a 4% buff to all of their stats, that's all of their damage, as well as health. So it just turns them into much more powerful units. So the possibilities are really endless. There's so many different things you could do with this. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of people playing Greyfax and all kinds of different deck builds. So what I want to do in this video is try out 3 different decks. Right here I have a melee-oriented deck, and it is only 99 points. So we have 100 points remaining, which will give us the maximum bonus from Greyfax's special rule, so that's an 80% buff to the stats of all of these guys. And of course we have to include the Penitent Engine as the most powerful melee unit in their roster, as well as the Death Cult Assassin. I think Berserkers will actually benefit quite a bit from Greyfax's rule because the increase in health will allow them to stay alive and to gain more damage throughout the course of the battle. Inspiring Presence will also be nice because it'll increase the attack damage even more to tremendous levels. So we've got Commissar Chelik in here for the Inspiring Presence. So just 3 bodyguards, but we're going to go ahead and deploy in ranked mode and see how this works out. I started recording a video earlier, but then I ran out of storage space on my tablet, so I had to delete it, and so we're starting over from scratch again, and we're up against Tau. Haven't really seen Tau in ranked for a little while. This is Aunva at level 2, and they've got a drone, a shield drone with taunt on the field, so that's actually going to be taunting for 2 turns, and they have the initiative. They're also debuffing our initial attack, so this is not the ideal start. So yeah, their Warlord is only at level 2, but their units seem to be at a pretty high level. So we'll see how this works out. I think we'll put down Commissar Chelik over there. So yeah, we're getting an 80% buff to our units, and the Penitent Engine is able to deal 162 damage. The initial Furious Charge dealing 36 there. But actually, yeah, he's getting buffed to 178 melee damage with the Inspiring Presence. They are debuffing my melee attack, so it's going to be a little bit of a slow start, but we'll take down the shield drone first, and then the Death Cult Assassin will attack that Kroot Hound. Penitent Engine, of course, is able to destroy almost anything in one hit with this amount of melee attack. They are doing a pretty good job of debuffing my attack types, though, and they've got the Riptide on the field, so this actually will be quite interesting. The Riptide will gain a huge amount of melee attack when it takes damage from my Penitent Engine, so this is actually a decent counter. Now we'll see how much damage we can do. 143, we'll see how much of that gets converted to melee attack. Okay. The Kroot Hound goes down, and then the Riptide goes up to 66 melee, so it's actually dealing quite a bit of damage to that Penitent Engine. And they've got a Barracuda on the field as well. Not looking so great for me, but it looks like Commissar Chelik over there able to deal 25 damage and take down the anti-grav drone. The Penitent Engine survives with 65 health. And our next melee attack will allow us to take down the Riptide. And Aunva actually has a pretty decent melee attack, so he will be able to destroy the Death Cult assassin, and our Warlord will then have to deploy to the field. But Inquisitor Greyfax is actually pretty beastly, especially when she's getting an 80% boost. She does also benefit from her own special rule, so we'll see her health go from 146 to 263. She has a pretty big melee attack, but yeah, with all three attack types, she'll be able to counter no matter what they go for, and so yeah, 42 plus 20 damage, and then we'll be able to close out this game with a very powerful melee attack. 255 damage. So you can see, pretty devastating. Now, had that Penitent engine fallen, that might have been a different story, but it is quite hard to take down a Penitent engine with over 300 health. Alright, so let's switch gears here, and we'll move into a ranged build. There are a lot of ranged units I'd like to use, but I think I'll just go with the higher level ones I have. The Dune Crawler seems like it would be a good option. I think anything with high damage would work pretty well with Greyfax, I think. So like this guy over here, the Tech Priest Manipulus, has regeneration. So it'll start out with lots of health, lots of damage, and should be able to survive for quite some time. And then I think the Rogue Trader will also work well. It's only 6 points, but has really good stats for its cost. So once again, just 3 bodyguards, and I'll be getting slightly under the 80% buff. We had 96 points remaining. 96 unused points, that is. It is nice that you can actually see exactly how many, or how much of a buff you're getting. Just tap on the icon, and we can see that we're getting a 76% boost to our stats. Now we're up against Captain Badruck, and I feel like Greyfax might actually be a pretty decent counter to Badruck, because he will have a very hard time killing, ranged units of this caliber. 392 health on this Dune Crawler, and a massive amount of range damage. We'll put down the Rogue Trader. Normally you would not expect a card with only 6 points to last very long, but even this has a 62 damage and 137 health, and then we'll put down the Tech Priest in the center. The precision shot from the Dune Crawler will be able to break the shield on the Snazwagon. Okay, they do have the initiative, and they are going for a melee attack. Dune Crawler does a pretty decent amount of damage with its melee as well at this level, and we'll just be able to go straight to the ranged attacks, I believe. Yeah, looks good. So we'll take down the biker, the mech gun, and then the Snazwagon will be very close to dying. Dune Crawler still doing just fine with 330 health. And they will be putting down their last 2 bodyguards, which are some pretty big vehicles. This is a pretty standard Badruck deck by the looks of it. So I'll be taking a fair bit of range damage here. The barrage from the Squig Buggy doing, quite a bit of damage. And so the Rogue Trader is about to die here. And let's take a closer look at the Boosta Blasta over here. Okay, 22. So we almost have enough. If the Boosta Blasta had taken out the Rogue Trader with its melee attack, Badruck's ability would not trigger. But unfortunately, it doesn't have quite enough damage to do that, so we'll just go with the ranged attack. Still capable of dealing plenty of damage here. And the Booster Blaster will be able to fire again, dealing another 32 damage. So they're actually taking down my units here, and Greyfax is going to deploy to the field, but yeah, it's the Dune Crawler is doing just fine, but the other units weren't able to hold up quite as well against the ranged volleys of Captain Badruck. So might have to rethink this strategy here to better counter Badruck. Badruck is still the warlord that I seem to be facing that I think most people face the most in ranked mode. So I think figuring out a good way to break through bad rucks and buggies is never a bad idea. But still, you can see here, we had no trouble taking him down with just 3 bodyguards. Okay, so we've tried out melee, we've tried out ranged, and now I want to show you the psychic build for Inquisitor Greyfax. Now, Servants of the Emperor do have a number of psychers, but I have very rarely ever seen them used. I don't think any of the other warlords for Servants of the Emperor really encourage the use of psychers. So yeah, we're going to put some of these guys in. They've got 2 of them with Psionic Blast. This guy, the Inquisitor Lord, and then the Imperial Navigator. So they have that AoE blast, and then this one has Warp Surge. She's pretty good for her stats. And then I think we'll also just throw in the other Inquisitor Lord, or yeah, Kyria Draxus. She has all 3 attack types and Big Game Hunter. Okay, so yeah, we still have 93 points left over, so that should give us a pretty good buff to these units. And I haven't really upgraded them. I have enough coins and enough copies to upgrade them, but I've never really used them before. That's why they're kind of at the lower levels. And I do kind of want to save my coins, so I'll hold off on upgrading them for now. But in this match, we should be able to see what they are made of when combined with Greyfax. And once again, we're up against Tau, this time against Commander Farsight, who is at level 5. So let's go ahead and put down our units with the Psionic Blast first. Again, they're deploying a shield drone at the beginning. And I think we'll put down the Navigator over there. Okay, Tau, of course, do not have any psychers, so we'll be able to get lots of free damage in this game. And let's take a look at this guy. So yeah, 29 point bodyguard here, but this guy has about the same stats as the Lord of Change, with the 72% boost from Greyfax, so that is pretty impressive. Put down Kyria Draxus over there on the right, and we have the initiative, so we'll start off with a pretty good Psychic Barrage. Of course, the Psionic Blast will be going off twice at the beginning of each turn. Okay, both of these Psionic Blasts are at the level 1. I haven't unlocked the more powerful version of the trait yet, so they could potentially deal quite a bit more damage if further leveled up. We don't have much ranged to counter with, so we will be taking quite a bit of damage on the enemy turn. And some of these guys don't really have a whole lot of health. The Imperial Navigator over there is not going to last much longer, unfortunately. Okay, it looks like we'll be able to take down 2 of their bodyguards, though. And which means their last 2 bodyguards will deploy. And again, with Commander Farsight, you do have to be careful towards the end of the game, because once the last Warlord, and actually I miscalculated that, I guess they only had 1 bodyguard left, so the Riptide comes down, and then Farsight also deploys, so that's going to heal the Broadside Battlesuit back up to full health. And they are going for the ranged attack, taking down the Navigator, and Kyria Draxus barely survives. She has Big Game Hunter, so she deals a little bit more damage to the Riptide. Alright, and we'll put down this Psyker over here. Our Inquisitor Lord in the center, still doing pretty well, although they do have a pretty big melee attack charged up. We'll see if they decide to switch over to melee next turn. We will continue going with the Psychic attack, of course, getting that free damage in. And the Psionic Blast once again triggering, and again, yes, they are actually going for the melee attack, so they'll deal a lot of damage, take down 2 of my bodyguards. So now Greyfax is deploying to the field. This is a bit closer than any of the previous games. Will she be able to survive? I think she is doing fine, but we'll see. Inspiring Presence and the special rule activating, giving, so she's at 251 health. And we'll be able to take down the broadside battlesuit on the left. Okay, yeah, I think we're okay. They're going for the ranged attack. So this was actually a pretty close game. But now we have a pretty good ranged and melee attack. At the moment, Greyfax does not deal very much psychic damage, but yeah, 74 melee is pretty good when charged up to this level. So 150 melee damage to close off this game. Alright, so this was a bit of a longer video, but there is an example of how you can play making the most of Greyfax's special rule and just getting ridiculous buff to your units. It's a lot of fun. I gotta say, Greyfax is possibly my new favorite warlord, and thanks to her, Servants of the Emperor have shot up to the highest of all of my factions in ranked mode. So if you have any questions about how Greyfax works, feel free to let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.